performing professionals. And I'm excited today to be talking to Jennifer Nassi, who is a body and soul clarity coach. And I can't wait to have her, to bring her on board here and have her talk to you about all of that, what that is, and have you get to know Jen as I know her. She's a great pal of mine, and I'm excited to have her share her work with you. So Jen, are you here?
I am. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
Hey, Jen, why don't you tell our audience a little bit more about what you do, and yeah, tell us a little bit more what you do.
Absolutely. So I have a quite array of tools in my toolkit. And what I do is I use my training in both holistic health and hormones, along with energy work and some of that deeper personal transformation work, to really help support women in not just finding that sense of ease and peace in their life, but just really thriving. And I find that, you know, it's kind of like peeling back the layers of an onion, right? Like there's the basics of how we nourish our bodies, you know, how foods work for us, how they make us feel, how we're caring for ourselves, and yet we can be doing all of those things just right? We can be eating all the right stuff, doing all the right stuff, and if the bigger ticket items in our life are out of balance, it's going to be really hard for us to find that joy and that pleasure that we're looking for, and that passion. And so really, you know, taking a look under the hood, so to speak, seeing what's going on in there, what's working well, what's not, and how to make shifts that are easily doable. You know, we all have incredibly busy lives and a lot of things going on to juggle, and so how to make those steps doable and how to make them last, and how to make sure that it takes in who each woman is as an individual, as a unique person, you know, so that we're not feeling like we're all supposed to fit in this box and then it doesn't quite work for us and we think there must be something wrong with us. Like, well, maybe we just weren't designed to fit in it that way, right? And so really helping them find their unique path to finding happy in their body, but also in their life.
Great. And so how did you develop that approach?
My own life lessons, which I think is how a lot of us come to be where we are, right? You know, I had been a teacher for a number of years, and then I had my own family, and back in 2008, I was a mom of 2 young kids, 2 kids under 2. You know, I was fatigued to the point I couldn't get up off the couch to even play with them. I had horrible IBS symptoms. I mean, I was terrified to travel, to leave the house, to sleep in the same room as my husband. It was just, you can bet intimacy was not top of the list. I mean, our relationship really struggled because of that. You know, I also had an extra 20 pounds of weight I just couldn't seem to shake. I definitely was not confident. I didn't know what I wanted, where I was going. You know, who was this new person now that I wasn't teaching anymore and I was a mom? And then the final straw was I was diagnosed with psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease, and it manifests in the skin. But obviously, as an autoimmune disease, it involves your whole system, and if you really think about it, it's your body attacking itself, right? So there's a lot there to look at, because there certainly were physical things going on that was creating that, but there were a lot of bigger ticket things, emotional things, and mindset pieces where I was really attacking myself in a lot of ways too. So when I first started working through that whole healing process, a lot of my care providers at the time said, you know, there's no way diet's related, you know, take your medications, when they stop working, come back, we'll give you something stronger, all these things you're experiencing, you know, it's just kind of like that's the luck of the draw, right? you just got the short stick. You know, that's just how it goes. There's nothing you can really do. And you know, I sat with that for a little while, and I thought, first of all, how horribly depressing, and also like how is it that, you know, all these things are happening? You know, my body must be telling me something. Like something's got to be going on here that I'm supposed to pay attention to. And so it finally was a turning point for me when I just thought, you know, I'm not happy. I'm physically a mess. My marriage is stressed. Like, I'm only, what, 30 years old? 31? Like, this can't be it. Like, this just can't be it. And I
Mhm.
decided at that point I wasn't going to settle, and that whatever it took and however long it took, I was going to take the steps to heal my body and to really, find myself again. And so it did. It took some time. I got great support. I learned a ton. And then from that, I found my passion, and that is helping other women who are feeling lost, who are feeling maybe like they don't understand their body, they've got out of control cravings, they don't know what they mean, they just feel, fatigued and run down, like every day's Groundhog Day, where it's like it's just more of the same, and they're just kind of at that place where it's like, you know what, I want more than this. I want more than this for myself. I want more than this for my family, and I want more than this so I can go out and do the big things that I'm here to do, whatever they are. And so that really has fueled me in growing my business and serving women the way that I do.
Wow. I mean, what an amazing story. And it's, I know that what you talked about resonates. It resonated with me, and it also resonates, I know, with a lot of women that are out there that are just, they've got so much going on in their lives, and they are feeling run down. And it could be because of what they're eating. And so what's one piece of advice that you can offer, my community of busy career women, and some who are moms as well? So what's one piece of advice?
What I would recommend, and I do this with my clients, is creating a nourishment menu. And so what a nourishment menu looks like, you can make it as pretty or as basic as you want to. So it can be a Post-it note, or it can be a fancy piece of stationery, a card you write to yourself, whatever you want it to be. It just has to be something you can see every day. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a few minutes to think about what are some things that really fill you up. When we think of self-care, I think we get stuck a lot thinking that, one, it's selfish, and two, it has to be either time intensive or financially a commitment, right? We think about running away for a weekend or a spa day or whatever it is, and those are wonderful options. If those are something you love, absolutely put them on your list. But the reality is most of us don't have time day to day for things like that, and so then we don't do anything to help fill up the well. And when we're trying to give from that place where we're already so depleted, like there's just nothing more to give. It's like we're being pulled in all these directions, and the next thing we know, we're snapping at our kids, we're in arguments with our partner, we're getting sick at the most inopportune times, right? How often do you hear that, where it's like, I have so much to do, and I got this cold, or this migraine, or my hormones are crazy, or whatever it is. And what I want to help reframe is how it looks, how self-care can look. And so on that nourishment menu, I want you to have a range of, like, yes, your dream of your spa day or whatever it is, or a girl's vacation, but also what can you do every day within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes that helps you refill that well so that you can start to fill it back up, and then you can give from a place of abundance and a place of overflowing, right, where it feels great and you're not feeling resentful and feeling like it's just more being taken away. So often I get asked, what are some things, what does that look like, right? So it could be, I try and steer clear of food rewards. That gets into a whole different ballgame, but I will say one of my favorite things is still like a favorite mug of tea. And yes, I do put some dark chocolate with that, absolutely. But have it in a fancy cup. Have it, make it special, right? Do something special. It could be going outside and just literally wiggling in the grass, or getting outside at your lunch break and going for a quick walk around the block before you come back in, and just to kind of reset yourself. It could be doing some breathing exercises. And I know, Bina, you've shared some amazing tips with my community about that in terms of your confidence and things. But there's also some great research out there just in terms of, we go through every day being so triggered and so on all the time. And so just taking 2 minutes will literally reset your system into that peaceful state, that sense of calm. And it also will impact your hormones, believe it or not. If you do it twice a day, 2 minutes a day, it'll start to balance your hormones. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. And if you want some guidance for it, for all of us who have those smartphones out there, there's a great app called GPS for the Soul. And it will, you put your finger behind the camera and it senses your pulse, and then it will give you breathing exercises to help bring you into that balanced state. Literally 2 minutes, right? Calling a favorite girlfriend to chat on the phone, writing a letter. When was the last time we wrote a letter to anybody? Sitting down and journaling. Going out with your camera, taking pictures, going for a walk without any destination, letting yourself wander. I mean, really, it can look like anything. What's important is that it means something to you. And so then, once you've got that list, and you can continue to add to it, right? So Sudoku puzzles are on my list. People magazines are a guilty pleasure on my list. Like whatever makes you happy, right? That it's just that little guilty pleasure. Then you look at your day and you think, how can I put in some guideposts? Kind of like some touchstones, right? Of, okay, I've got all this to do, I've got to get running, but you know what? Here's where I'm going to take my 5 minutes. Here's where I'm going to take my 10 minutes. And I know in the beginning it can seem like, how can I possibly give that time? But I promise you that even if it's just 5 minutes, you will come back so much more recharged, so much more focused. You will be so much more effective at whatever you're trying to do. And again, you'll be coming from a place of feeling more taken care of. And how awesome is that you can do that for yourself? Obviously, there's a whole way to start, asking to receive more help from loved ones and things like that. We don't have time to go into all of that today. But I love that this is something that you get to drive the bus, right? You get to be in control of, and you have to love and honor and care for yourself in order to be able to show up in a bigger way in the world and to be able to experience life in the way that you're wanting to. And so really, it's not being selfish at all. Or, I've heard the term self-full. I like that. But you know what? Maybe we need to reclaim selfish too, as not always being negative, right? That it's okay. It is okay to think of yourself, and often. So.
What that reminds me of is, when you're in the airplane and they always say, put the mask on yourself first.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. We have to take care of ourselves first, or we won't be able to give to everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So this is such a, I was taking feverish notes as you were going through it. I was like scribbling away, trying to pay attention, but I was like trying to write as much as possible. It's really helpful to me, and it's so impactful that it's such a small shift. This menu for the day could really have such a big impact, and I can't wait to try it. I'm excited. Is there any other thing that you can share with us?
Absolutely. Well, I would love to invite you and your community to hop on over to visit jennifernassi.com, and you can see how to spell that below in the video. But I have a free one-day body and soul reboot. And so what I love about this is, first of all, it does address food. It really is helping you get back into whole foods, cooking, but from a place where it's not meant to be challenging. You get a shopping list, you get a meal plan, you get the recipes, it's all there for your whole day, but then you also get tips around just nice ways to take care of yourself throughout the day. So it literally is just, here's one day where you can focus on you. And no, it doesn't mean you have to take off work. It is more than doable in your regular day, and actually I'd encourage you to try that anyway, because it helps you stretch and learn how to do these things in the context of your day-to-day life. But you also get the option to add into the Facebook group, which is part of the deal, so you can connect with all sorts of other women who are wanting the same thing and are this one-day body and soul reboot as well. So I would absolutely love to share that with your people.
Oh, thank you so much. That sounds great. I mean, who doesn't need a reboot every once in a while? So thank you so much, Jen, for joining me and for sharing such great tips with my community. And again, guys, if you do want to get this great reboot, one-day reboot, go to jennifernassi.com and get all that info there. Thanks again, Jen. I do appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Likewise, it's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.